I'm not running for anything. Kind of the entertainment today. I am married to Leslie Campion, Republican for the District 4 race, coincidentally. I guess I got my start with the political scene in April when I placed a sign on my office door that suggested that if you voted for our present president, that you should seek urologic care elsewhere. I wanted my patients to realize that elections have consequences, and they should. To not know about a candidate and to vote it's irresponsible. I really feel that a lot of people that did vote for this guy are really regretful. There was a lot of buyer's remorse. A lot of people, as you probably know, aren't really owning up to it. I feel like I have a personal stake in this. You know, for the last 40 years, government has been sticking its nose into healthcare. Kind of started with LBJ, with the Great Society and Medicare, and nobody's really batted an eyelash. You know, government sticks its nose into the doctor-patient relationship. I mean, that's what medicine is. It's a doctor and a patient and occasionally a hospital. But now it's those three entities as well as the government and insurance companies. And the government and insurance companies have made it impossible for you to afford health care without them. Why does it cost $10,000 a day to be in a hospital?
I'd like to know that.
Right? I mean, you stay at the Ritz-Carlton for $400 a night, and their bathrobes are nicer, right? Obamacare is horrible. I mean, it has nothing to do with health care, folks. It has to do with redistribution of wealth and limitation of services. Over the next 10 years, they're taking out $500 billion from the Medicare budget, and they're assuring you that none of the services are going to be eliminated. They'll say that in their little brochures, Kathleen Sebelius' brochure. But in reality, if you look at the timeline that David Camp, who's he's a congressman, and he basically has outlined, has gone through the bill, or the legislation, and has actually shown from one year to the next, and I have a copy of it. You can get it online. I even have a website. It's a timeline for implementation of Obamacare, and it goes through every year what services are going to be suffering. And we're talking ambulance services, dialysis, rehab, diagnostic imaging, CAT scans, MRIs, everything. And then they're going to try to dump another 30 million people into Medicare, into the federally funded system. And they're assuring you, oh yeah, everything will be maintained. Well, I don't think so. There's going to be a cut to hospice in 2012. I'm getting attacked by a little gnat. I don't have a twitch, so it's a Democrat.
Whoops.
I wasn't going to do a Democrat joke either. So hospice is getting cut. I mean, not slashed. I don't know. To what extent, they haven't really decided. But that's the plan is to let you die slower and more painfully, I guess. You know, it's just horrible. I just wrote a letter. Are you folks familiar with Debbie Wasserman Schultz? She's Little Pelosi. Her campaign manager called me today to see if I would write a letter on her behalf, just to talk about Obamacare, so they could send it out to the District 20 people. So I wrote a letter, and it's going to go out to everybody. I'm just happy to have taken part in this. We're all here for a good reason, to take back our country. And it's kind of hard because, I mean, they have a 50-year head start, these guys. You know, we've really, and now we're finding out, it's interesting, I was reading an article the other day, when the USSR fell, in the spirit of glasnost, the KGB opened up their books, all of their logs, and it turns out, when everything was translated and they started going through these things, that Joe McCarthy actually was onto something. I mean, he was even then, when Khrushchev was saying, we're going to take you from within, well, here you go. That's right where we are, guys. So this isn't going to happen on November 3rd. That's one election cycle. 2 years from now, we get the survivors and Obozo out of here, right? And then it may take a couple more years, or 10 years, but it's going to happen. And everybody thinks the Tea Parties are just going to go away on November 3rd once we get a few seats back. Ain't happening. This is great. It's only going to keep getting stronger and stronger. The wins are going to be an encouragement. And I know everybody's going to be encouraged to get their country back, to get a fair tax. I mean, do you know what that would do? How about lowering our corporate income tax from the second highest in the world to the second lowest? Can you imagine the number of companies that are going to come back? Maybe we can do something to these unions. You know, I mean, what are they? I don't think there's going to be the child labor laws are in place. I think we're okay with that stuff. That should do the trick, right? So, in closing, I want to say that you really have to look. You have to look at the local races just as well as the federal ones. And my litmus test, I'm very fiscally conservative. You know, when I look at industry, I look at people working hard, making jobs. Taxation is really the thing that makes me angrier than anything. And I feel on the local level, your litmus test should be, are you in favor of Amendment 4? That's the one. Amendment 4 is the thing that totally hurts our representative form of government, and it's going to really hurt local industry. If somebody's in favor of Amendment 4, run the other way.